right, let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, May 12th. Welcome. It's the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I'm Aaron Mays. I represent District 3. I currently serve as the chairman. On my left is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. On my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, representing District 2. Good morning to both of you. We've got our county councilor, Rich Eckert, at my far right, and far left is our county clerk, Lisa Schmidt. Good morning to both of you. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, first item on the agenda that we have content for is item 3, consent agenda.
Okay, so a couple items on here on the consent agenda that we do want to acknowledge before we vote. And so item A is for the Relay for Life proclamation, and we do have somebody here from Relay for Life. I'd like to invite them up to speak. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
I can speak a little bit, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my name is Carolyn Zeller. I am here to represent the American Cancer Society. Since its inception in 1913, the American Cancer Society has been united by a simple goal: to stop cancer from destroying lives. Relay for Life is how we celebrate survivors and thrivers, honor caregivers, remember those we've lost, and fight back through fundraising and awareness. Relay for Life is a beacon of hope. For 40 years, we've empowered communities to take action, but the journey isn't over. Every 15 seconds, someone hears the words, "You have cancer." This year alone, over 2 million Americans will be diagnosed with cancer. In the state of Kansas, that's just shy of 16,000 people diagnosed and just shy of 6,000 deaths just in 2025. Those numbers remind us why the Relay for Life movement matters and is so important. I want to share a few examples of how the money that is raised through Relay for Life benefits the American Cancer Society and the people that we serve. Anyone, anywhere can call our 24/7 helpline and use our cancer.org website to find guidance, support, and answers. We have education efforts that we fund to understand the importance of eating right, staying active, avoiding tobacco and alcohol in the sun. We have Hope Lodge communities that provide a home away from home for people with cancer and their caregivers that have to travel to treatment. In 2024, we provided over 550,000 nights of free lodging to cancer patients and their caregivers. Our Road to Recovery program offers free rides to treatment from volunteer drivers, and in 2024, we provided over 71,000 rides to treatment. Since 2022, the American Cancer Society has provided Shawnee County $60,000 in patient transportation grants, $9,000 in patient lodging grants. So those funds have provided 208 patients with 5,000 one-way rides to treatment and 14 patients with 82 nights of lodging. Since 1946, we've invested more than $5 billion in cancer research, making us the largest nonprofit funder of cancer research outside of the federal government. Right now, we are currently funding 855 grants totaling $508 million, and I'm proud to share there is an $800,000 grant at the University of Kansas Medical Center Research Institute. We've been relaying 40 years collectively. We've raised over $7 billion, supported more than 30,000 survivors, and contributed to saving over 4.1 million people and their lives through research and support. We want to invite the entire community to join us this Friday at Relay for Life of Shawnee County at Hummer Sports Park. Activities begin at 6 and ends at 11. Every step we take at Relay for Life is part of a larger journey. We walk for those who can't, we fight for those who are still going through it, and we hope for a future where no one hears the words "you have cancer." Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We do have a proclamation that we'll be voting on in a second. Did we want to do a photo before voting on that, or you guys want to do a photo real quick?
Sure.
Okay. And the sheriff's deputy, please come up. Do you want to come on up too, and we'll just have to have them do the photo?
Thank you very much.
And we'll get this too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there was one other item on the consent agenda that we were going to call out as well, and that is item H, approval of a contract with Windows Design and Remodeling for a sponsorship, and I'll have Tim speak on that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Lorette, Director of the Parks and Recreation Department. Yeah, this morning we would like to recognize Rodney Robertson and Miles Kramer from Windows Design and Remodeling. These gentlemen do a lot of work with us and help us with a lot of our sign needs and banner needs, mostly at our ball field complexes, but at other sites too, recreation centers and all over our system. And they've made a generous contribution to the Parks for All Foundation, $3,750 over the next 5 years. And we just wanted to recognize this partnership and that donation today.
That's great, I appreciate that. We always appreciate, any help we can get from the private sector, and so appreciate your help here. And so if we want to do a photo here as well, or, is that okay? Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
All right. I know it's a little unconventional to do that with the consent agenda. We weren't sure if they were going to be able to make it or not, so we didn't change the agenda to push them off to a different section. So having done all that now, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, significant payments include $765,653.78 to KBS Constructors for a monthly progress payment on the state-funded portion of the work on the mental health facility using state grant funding. $463,446 to Shawnee Mission Ford for 9 Ford Interceptor utility vehicles for Sheriff's Office for the Capital Outlay Fund. $326,253.61 to Cine and Company for a monthly progress payment on the courthouse renovation project using building maintenance and capital projects funding. $84,499.69 to King Construction Company for a progress payment on a bridge replacement project on Northwest 35th Street over a tributary to Soldier Creek using bridge project funding. Total vouchers, $6,427,616.85. No questions or comments. I would move for approval of the voucher.
Second.
I got a motion by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
B, Planning Department. 1, public hearing and consider disapproval of resolution number 2025-32, a conditional use permit to establish a rodeo event venue on a property zoned RA1, Rural Agricultural District, located at 6320 Southeast 45th Street, Tecumseh Township.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joni Thadani, Director of the Planning Department. Whoa, I did not mean to do that. Okay, there we are. As mentioned, we're here today for a conditional use permit, and a little bit atypical is that we're actually here to ask that you disapprove this conditional use permit. It is for a rodeo event venue that would be located on a piece of property just east of Shawnee Heights Road on southeast 45th Street. So the proposal today was for the rodeo, which would be over weekends between the months of April and September. They were proposing a maximum number of 4 events per year, and that would occur on a weekend, just a single day, either a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. They were anticipating that up to 400 people could attend each event, and that would not include vendors and participants. The vendors and participants would arrive early in the afternoon and begin setting up, and then the rodeo hours would occur between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m. Some stipulations that we had discussed with them when this proposal was going through our office was that we would not allow for overnight camping, and then there would be a strict no off-site parking as well. This one also is a little bit different in the fact that it was heard by the Planning Commission on 3 separate occasions. This originally came in front of the Planning Commission in June of 2024. At that time, upon staff review and recommendation, I felt like there was a lot of information missing from their proposal that wouldn't allow it to move forward. And so in the staff recommendation, I had a list of probably 50 items or questions and concerns that I had, as well as other concerns from environmental health, public works, other people who had addressed those. And so we put those in the recommendation, and when we had the public hearing, we recommended either it be denied or that it get deferred so that those items could be addressed and brought back into the Planning Commission. We did send out letters to 28 people within 1,000 feet of the site. We received a lot of emails in opposition to this event. We did receive a couple of emails in support. At the first public hearing in June, we had 32 people speak in opposition to the event venue. It did get deferred on that action. Planning Commission did defer it. And so it came back to the Planning Commission in September of 2024. And prior to that meeting, we really received no updated information. We did get a traffic study, which was asked for, but it just added additional concerns based on the site distances along 45th Street. At the second hearing, we only had 1 person speak in favor of the proposal and 4 in opposition. However, we had a lot of people there. We limited the comments at each new public hearing to just the information that was updated. We didn't want to go back through and have a whole new public hearing on each item. At that hearing, because nothing new was added, the Planning Commission still felt like there was a lot missing. The applicant did appear at that meeting and present a pretty significant PowerPoint and had some information on a noise study and other things, but those had not been turned into the planning department ahead of time, so we had not been able to review them. So once again, it was deferred and heard in April, at which time 1 person spoke in favor and 5 people again spoke in opposition. The property has historically been used for ag purposes. It's located very near Shawnee Heights Middle School and High School. It's just east of a residential neighborhood off of 45th and Shawnee Heights Road. We did a comprehensive review of the project prior to each hearing. We reconsidered all of the information each time, and in each staff report, which you'll find 3 in the packet, identified a list of concerns on the proposal. Throughout the pending case, applicant would provide additional information. However, we felt that the applicant did not satisfactorily address all of the concerns for the rodeo, and they had been given ample time to support that with their business plan and information. General location is starred in blue. And then the property itself here is outlined in red. And you can see the nearness to the neighborhoods to the east. But I will advise that the applicant likes to throw parties out at this location, which are allowed. When you have a piece of property, if you utilize your own property for your own personal parties, you can. However, those parties each had a lot of noise, and we got complaints from people north of Lake Javaro, a couple of miles east, the neighbors to the west. So, you know, not only would this rodeo have a lot more people and a lot more traffic, alcohol, and all of the things, but there were other parties going on already that were causing issues for neighbors, and relay was, well, if this is causing this much noise based on these smaller parties, what would happen when you have over 400 people on the property? This was our notification circle. And then the site plan showing in green where the parking was gonna be, an entrance. There's a cemetery located just east of the parcel. And so there's also a crest of the hill along 45th, but what you can see is the entrance was gonna have to be in a very specific location, and the site distances based on that were not gonna be good along 45th. Parking would be in the green area, and then the entire rodeo event would occur on the north end of the parcel. There would have been an arena and speakers and animals, obviously, that would be participating. And then there would be vendors and games and such on kind of the northwest corner. So all in all, at the end of all of this, we still have several remaining concerns. The first being the number of attendees in addition to alcohol sales. We didn't feel confident that there was going to be proper security to monitor the number of people coming in and out, and that it wouldn't end up being just 400 people. We also were highly concerned about the noise that's created by the people, animals, and music to nearby neighbors. There was a noise study that was done, and there were discussions about what kind of noise could be heard by those surrounding neighbors, but they didn't provide any mitigating information about how they were going to try and reduce that, or how they were going to monitor what those noise levels were going to be. We also had concern in regards to dust and nighttime lighting. And the biggest one, I would say, that could not be overcome is the traffic study. The site distance at the entrance of Southeast 45th with the crest in the road is something that was never addressed, and so it would have caused issues, and there was the potential for accidents. Staff again reviewed the proposal, remaining concerns, and we did a thorough consideration in our staff report of the golden factors, and we found that the request did not satisfy each of those golden factors. As mentioned, there were 3 public hearings. The final one, the Planning Commission did vote to recommend denial 5-0. So based on that, staff finds that the proposal does not meet the golden factors and recommends denial of the conditional use permit. And I can stand for any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, then I would make a motion that we enter a public hearing.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. We're now in a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this item? Seeing none, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Neutral? Seeing none. Okay, any questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, I will second that. Motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. We should probably disclose any ex parte communications, I would guess. I received a number of emails on this item, almost entirely in opposition. You guys?
Likewise, I've also received emails in opposition to this item.
I received emails in opposition, and I had one personal meeting that was also opposed to the.
Yeah, I did, actually, I should say. I had a meeting with one person as well, so. All right. Any further questions or comments on it? Okay, I make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning department and deny the permit.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item C, County Councilor. 1, consider approval of contract C 184-2025, a 3-month contract extension with AMR for the Nurse Navigation Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Eckert, County Councilor. The nurse navigation contract ended in April. Apparently, we needed more time to think and talk about that. So in order to do that, this amendment to that agreement gives us a 3-month extension. It will be paid out of contingency funds since this is not budgeted in this year. The payments will be $5,000 a month. If you have any questions, we have both Nelson Castile and John Atram in the audience.
Any questions? No, I think that we've been talking a lot about ambulance service lately. The nurse navigation program has been a new and innovative component in that, and definitely something we need to extend for a little bit longer to make sure that we have some good data on whether or not it's working. So I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works. 1, consider awarding Vance Brother Incorporated bid up to 8,000 gallons of CRS-1H road oil for purchase in 2025 at a unit cost of $2.29 per gallon and a potential maximum expenditure of $18,320. Funding will depend on where the material is being used.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. This is just a annual request to purchase road oil. This is the type of oil we use to spray on the roads with aggregate to patch potholes. It's just, again, an annual request, nothing extraordinary. I look forward to your questions.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Okay, I'll second. Motion by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
2, consider awarding Vance Brother Incorporated's bid for up to 310,000 gallons of RS-1HM road oil for purchase in 2025 at a unit cost of $2.29 per gallon and a potential maximum expenditure of $709,900. Funding will depend on where the material is being used.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Really, this is a similar item. The only thing that's really more important is that we're buying 310,000 gallons rather than 8,000 gallons. We're paying the same price, and the total expenditure, of course, could be much higher at around $710,000. I look forward to any questions that you might have.
Yep, Commissioner Rippon.
Is this the oil used for chip and seal?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So my question, 310,000 gallons is a lot.
It sure is.
They don't just bring that all at once, do they?
No,
Okay.
they bring it as we need it. Yeah.
Okay.
Get a gallon at a time.
All right, any other questions?
No, I would move for approval.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
E, Parks and Recreation. 1, consider approval of contract C 185-2025 with Next Generation Recreation utilizing the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative to purchase play equipment for Gage Park's Playland in the amount of $90,607 with funding from the GPIA funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So, as the clerk stated, this is for the playland area of Gage Park. This is tot-aged play equipment, so this will be a whole zone of the park that will be geared towards very young children. It does include a couple of different slides, some what they're calling play cubes, things that you climb around, a rock climber. Also has a mounded, a turf-mounded play feature with a short tunnel that goes through it. So we think it'll be very popular and widely used. We hope to have this completion and installed by November 15th of 2025. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions? So are we getting close to having Playland all wrapped up? It seems like
Yeah.
we've been talking a lot about it in small increments.
I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next item.
Okay, all right. So I'll move for approval
Second.
on this item. So, okay, motion by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
2, consider request for proposal for construction services to prepare the playland area for the installation of the playground equipment and safety surfacing. Services include excavation, site prep, drainage components, and base gravel.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So to answer your previous question, Commissioner Mays, I think this is the piece that's, we really need to get completed so that we can start getting this equipment installed. We have some equipment on site, not on site, but in our shops ready to go now. But we need to go in, do some excavation work, some drainage work, prepare that site for all of this equipment. So that's what this item is asking for us to be able to go out for an RFP to find out what that's going to cost. But it really is, I think, the one piece now that we're missing to start construction. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions? Commissioner Rippon?
This is going to be paid from that same source.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. It'd be paid from the Gage Park Improvement Authority funds.
You know, this is making me feel old when you tear out equipment I put in 30 years ago.
I know, I always feel bad about that when I come up.
It's probably making that equipment feel old, too.
It's worn out, a lot of it.
I saw photos this weekend of how busy, or last Friday, how busy that park was. So the quicker we can get this going, the better, so.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
3, consider approval of contract C186-2025, a memorandum of understanding with the Topeka Horseshoe Club to establish collaboration guidelines for the design, build, and operation of an indoor horseshoe facility at Felker Park.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So the Topeka Horseshoe Club has has the good fortune of having a party that wants to donate some funds for this possible project, but they would like to see some sort of formal agreement and a little bit of reassurance, I guess, that we are working towards a final project or a final product. So what this MOU does is really just sort of solidify that arrangement, that we are working with the Topeka Horseshoe Club, that we have identified a site at Felker Park, but we're not tied into that site. That site could change. They're providing the horseshoe expertise and volunteers and obviously some funding when we get to that point. And then we would, the county would be, we're providing the land. We would do the design and probably ultimately end up contributing to the construction and infrastructure costs. So this MOU does not bind us to spend any money at this point. It just lays out that relationship and that we're working together towards what's hopefully a final product. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions? No, I did, just to reiterate what you said, it does say, I know this says Felker Park, but it says designated land at Felker Park or other mutually agreed upon location in Shawnee County for the
Absolutely.
facility. So it's still a possibility that we end up maybe doing something different. So,
Correct.
But like I said earlier, it's always good to see members of the public step up and contribute to our park system financially. So
Yeah.
appreciate this donor and their eagerness to get it done. So I'll make a motion that we approve the MOU.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
first? Oh, I'm sorry. Have you guys been working with the tennis association on this project so they're aware of it and they?
We have, yes. We've had several meetings, joint meetings between the Topeka Horseshoe Club and Topeka Tennis Association. So that Felker site is one that both of those parties would like to use. And they think there's some synergy there between the two organizations, that they could both ultimately contribute to the project and build what they're both looking for.
The only other word of caution is that project was part of a land and water conservation grant.
Correct.
And they always want to be informed on what's going on if there's a change to the master plan. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's it.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
Do you
Okay,
have a
so
second?
I have my motion on the table still, so,
I'll second.
okay, motion by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, public comment.
We do have one person signed up, and it is our very own Mark Price.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price. I'm not with IT today. Well, I am still with IT, but I'm with Top City Half Marathon, representing the proper thing. I did clock out before I came down here. No, I'm just here. I wanted to, first off, thank Emergency Management for their help this year. They've helped us in years past with signage and some other planning. This year, specifically Nelson got us some radios, which we used for communication with the organizers. And that honestly was probably one of the biggest changes this year that made things so much easier. I know Dusty and Nelson have said for years communication at an event is paramount, and this allowed us to communicate so much more simply and more effectively, even with the PD. Now, for what that's what I'm really here for, but also just to kind of tout what we had. So on May 3rd, we had the Top City Half Marathon here in Topeka, right at the Evergy Plaza just down the road. We had 557 people sign up for that race that morning. That morning was actually a perfect morning. It was in the 40s, so it wasn't too hot by the end of the race. It was barely in the 70s. The runners that came out from 19 different states really, number one, loved the weather, got a lot of positive feedback on the course. They loved the trails. They loved the neighborhoods because we go through Westboro and Collins Park. We had people as far away as from Hawaii, Wyoming, Pennsylvania come here. One thing I think that helped bring in a lot of people is this year we did something new. We partnered with the Lincoln Marathon, Half Marathon, which was Sunday. So our race was Saturday. The Lincoln Half Marathon was Sunday. And we offered, if you came and did our race here in Topeka, went up to Lincoln and ran one of the two races on Sunday, you would get an extra medal. We called it the Flyover Challenge. Kind of, both states are seen as flyover states, and we kind of wanted to embrace that, kind of have fun with it. Now, not realizing, but I think some of you guys are actually going to be headed up to Lincoln here later this year with the city swap. We kind of did our own inaugural city swap. I went up there, handed out the medals. I got to meet the Lincoln team. They put on an excellent event. It's actually about an 8,000 person event. But there was a lot of things that we offer here that they don't offer. We have, I think, a little bit better post race. It's not as big, but what we're offering, what we give out, because all of our runners get a beer from Iron Rail. We have Heartland Coke, Dr. Pepper, Keurig Dr. Pepper come in and help give out things to the runners. All the finishers have an opportunity for a Paradise donut if you want. You do want a donut every once in a while when you finish a race. So we got a lot of community partners that come in and help us put this on. We did get transient guest tax from the county, which went a long way to help with the promotion and giveaways we have. We also had Blue Cross again this year come in on the 5K and become our presenting sponsor. But this is our 6th year for the event. I feel like it was one of our best years organization-wise with the support of the county, emergency management, all of our city partners. The city does a lot of work on getting all the roads planned out, figured out the course, because it does cover about 8 miles of street roads and the trail that you have to cover. We've got to close it down. We've got to get volunteers at all those locations, which is over 100 volunteers. But just wanted to, again, thank emergency management for what they did for us and thank the support of the county.
Any questions for Mark?
Oh, it's a
So,
good event.
Mark, you said you had 400 and...
557 registered runners.
How many did you have the first year?
Well, the first year was interesting. I think we had about 300, but that was also COVID. So about 30 days before the race, we shut it down and didn't take any more registrations.
Okay. So do you think it's still growing, though?
Yeah, we're definitely, we're doing a good job of getting our name out there. There's a lot of people learning about it. I'm really excited what the Flyover Challenge will do, because a lot of people are excited to come and do the two races. Partially, it's a 50-state thing. People trying to get 50 states, run a half marathon in every state. They like to be able to go get 2 in a weekend. So this is a great opportunity for them to come to Kansas and then go to Nebraska and knock it out. I mean, that's the person from Wyoming was that person from Hawaii. I know the Pennsylvania people. There was a guy from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I think he might have had some mental issues because he ran both in a scarecrow uniform or outfit. So I don't know what that smelled like at the end of the second day, but, you know, he came from Atlanta and did that, and he was headed back to Atlanta on Sunday.
That's hilarious. All right, well, the idea of running 2 half marathons in consecutive days it doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'm glad that other people are into that. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That's all I've got for public comment, and so we'll move on to our next item, please.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Any administrative communications? All right, Commissioner Cook?
No.
Commissioner Rippon?
Do we have work session next Thursday?
Not this coming Thursday, we do not.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. All right, well, nothing from me either. So, next item.
Item 7, executive session.
I do not have a need for executive session today, so we are adjourned.